Minecraft is a game that has forever changed the way games are looked at and appreciated, starting out as a one-person developed passion project and evolving into the most sold game of all time. In this series, I will be playing through every major update throughout the history of Minecraft, beginning in alpha version 1.1.2 and playing through the current version of Minecraft, only moving on once I feel that I have adequately captured what playing the game during that time was like, from Pulsars Jr., X, and Co., all the way to Dream and Technoblade. From Minecraft survival games and UHC to MCC and Twitch Rivals. This is my loving tribute to my favorite game of all time. This is the Minecraft Progression Series. Hello and welcome to the Minecraft Progression Series. Here we are in the launcher here, starting in Alpha 1.1.201. So, we're starting in this version for a couple reasons. Primary one, let me drag this over here. We can look in the options menu here. We have music and sound. This is the first version of the game. If you hear here, we can hear the clicks. This is the most recent version of the game that actually has a sound engine that still works in modern systems. If you go back any further than this, you will not hear any sounds. And speaking of further back from this, let's look at what has happened in the versions we've skipped up until this point. So here I've loaded into the oldest version of Minecraft you can access through the launcher. If you look down at the taskbar, the logo is very different. On the top of the game, it just says game. And it is pretty much just a flat grass world with cobble underneath. It's interesting here, the break and place block mechanics are actually flipped, so it's left click to break, right click to place. And it's always the same world. And if you go all the way down through the world, there's a lot of layers here, but it's all just one block, the same block all the way through. And if you fall through, that is it. And if you press escape, it closes the game. Here's the next version. It's been changed out for regular stone instead of cobble, and you can actually see the player model has been rendered a lot of times throughout the world. Next version is InfDev here. If you press launch, it actually says launching failed, but it does succeed. And this is the first version that actually has settings in the same way that modern Minecraft does, and you can load into a world, no seed generator, but you spawn into a randomly generated world, and you can break blocks, place blocks, you see sand, grass, trees. This is the first version where there's actual mining and crafting. You'll see here you can make a crafting table, and it's pretty close to actual Minecraft that we know now. And here is just a little clip showing the addition of redstone. I felt like it was pretty relevant to the game at this point because it is much different than anything that had been added before. Alright, so now that we looked at that, we can go ahead and look at this. I did not make this. Here's the source link you can look at if you want to check out this timeline yourself. But it's got the basics of what was added to the game on what update. You can click into the actual wiki pages for each. This is the version we will be starting with for this series. And yeah, you can see in 2009, obviously, the game was originally being solo developed by Notch, and updates were quicker, but they were much smaller than you would expect them to be today. In fact, if you keep going, we were going to be starting right here. This shows pretty good, the path of what we have so far. Compasses were just added in the version that we're playing. And if we keep going, you see up until here, Adventure Update 2, 1.0, the end in enchanting. The game, a lot of it is fairly unrecognizable from a current standpoint. Even, the end got reworked, and the enchanting system is completely different now. But I would say this is the beginning of the modern game, plus Hunger being added immediately before that in Beta 1.8. But if we keep scrolling here, we can see the gaps between updates get smaller. Here's where the game is bought by Microsoft. Gaps are getting much larger, but the updates are getting bigger. Here's where the complete combat was reworked, rather. And if you keep going, you see more and more. This isn't even fully updated. We are missing 2 updates, I believe, Caves and Cliffs Part 1 was the last one. But for at the very top here, where we're going to be spending the majority of our time in the early game here, this is very useful for seeing what we're actually working with in regards to what our options are in the actual game. So with all that being said, I think we're pretty much good to go here. If we click into single player, obviously there's no seed generation or anything like that yet. That won't be coming for a while. Seeds are still generated randomly, so if I made 5 different worlds here, they would all be, you know, the odds of getting matching seeds would be extremely low. But at some point we're going to need to change worlds. It won't be possible for this to be a forever world just due to the nature of upgrading with the versions. So even if seeds did exist, it doesn't super matter what we get here. So we can go ahead and load in here. Okay, so we look around. That classic old walking on grass texture there. You got some mountains, big ocean. Okay, this seems workable. Look at these terrible shadows. The lighting isn't quite what it used to be. Sounds are a little loud. Might need to turn those down. We'll go ahead and do the basics here. Punch these trees down and get the basic tools started. So something else that's important to note about this is there are a lot of quality of life differences that do not exist in this version. Number one, there is, if you shift click like I just did there, it just goes into your inventory. Another thing, there is no hotkeying from your inventory to your hotbar. In your hotbar, you know, you can hotkey. You cannot reset them though. It'll be quite a while before resetting hotkeys is a thing. I believe that's 1.7 that is introduced. But yeah, you still need to click and drag everything. There is no draggable crafting. So all of those kind of quality of life things, probably should have dug down on this sand. That's okay. We'll go ahead and get the basic tools going here. Coal, that's nice from the dig down. And so let's talk here. The basics of what we're going to be doing in these early versions, there's really not a whole lot to do. The much more interesting stuff will come after that, and after the adventure updates start coming in IMO. There is redstone in this version, but it's really like bare bones at this point, and personally I don't know if there's much reason to even do any of it at this point, because everything will just get ruined eventually. And it's not like now the stuff you can do with redstone is much more limited. It's much less cool. Let's actually grab 2 extra stone, more than I normally would, to show off something here. So we can, well, let's just make it all. Alright. So we'll go ahead and make the basic, oh, can't shift click. Gotta do everything manually. I don't even know what I'm making apparently. So let's go ahead. So hotkeys don't work, so I'm gonna have to do some kind of weird stuff here. It's okay. Another thing of note that's interesting that I forgot is that the crafting table does not have like a good block to pick up, or like a good tool to harvest it, which is something I completely forgot about. Very weird choice. Do not remember when that change will be happening. But the astute among you might have noticed that farming does exist in the game. We can make the hoe. But if we look around here, There is no sprint, by the way. I just tried to double tap, like the old school method, because we will not be getting hotkey sprint for a while. There is no grass. The way that you get crops in this version, you just have to hoe the ground, which is kind of, you know, a cool idea. Very different than what the modern game is, though. Also, don't know why that untilled itself. I'd say the next most important thing to check out here, look at the durability on that hoe too. Just those few clicks, it's already gone. So passive mobs respawn much quicker in this version, so I'm not too worried about killing all these guys, plus breeding in the modern sense doesn't exist. But another thing that newer players might not be familiar with is if you look at right above the hotbar, there is no hunger bar. And that is because hunger does not exist until one of those adventure updates. And instead, health works more like a ultra hardcore mode, where you need to eat food to regen that, which is pretty interesting, quite different than in the modern game, obviously. And so, in addition to the passive mobs respawning, given enough grass and time, it really just makes sense to slaughter them. Plus, you know, with the world being reset eventually, it's not a super big deal to not have animals. We can do the bread for food, plus what we can kill near spawn here. I'm pretty sure pigs are the only mob that actually drops food at this point. Because if you kill sheep, mutton wasn't added until 1.8, which is many years down the line. And if you cook this pork, you would actually get like a steak looking item. I don't even think, yeah, items don't have names yet. They just have IDs, which aren't visible to a normal player. So it'll be alright. We'll probably end up setting up a much bigger farm. But the basics of what we're going to do here for this version, I think I'm going to maybe set up a house in that hill, kind of an old school thing. We're extremely limited on block palette choice, so we can't be too picky. Stairs, slabs don't even exist. Stairs only exist in cobble and oak wood, which oak wood is the only wood type, if you haven't noticed that either. Birch gets added at the same time as lapis, which is a little down the line from here. But what I was showing there, I broke, is planks can, or wood blocks can only be placed in one direction, just straight up. So we're going to do some very old school techniques. The house will not be anything special, but the basics here, I think we're gonna dig down, get some iron, maybe do armor. I'll tell you one thing about this game, this version, is that the mobs are no joke. Practicing for this, I think this guy respawned. I think I killed the pigs here, so maybe I missed him, but them, I suppose. But yeah, let's see, the axe is gone already. Didn't even get through a full stack of trees. But yeah, the mobs in this version are no joke. Doing like practice to make sure I knew what I was doing loading into this world. Are they drowning? No, just shadows. They are very difficult, so I'm gonna go with armor. Like some basic iron, redstone, and then probably come back and start working on the house. So I will see you guys in just a minute. Here we are. I cut the recording. I dug into the wall here. You're a mob up there, fighter. Made the furnace, threw the food in there. However, I thought it was important to check out our first night here. We got this little overhang, so I feel pretty safe actually. These mobs are very scary though, as I mentioned before. They will. This is spam clicking right here. So you see, it's quite a bit slower than it will become in the future. So mobs can hit you from like through the swing, which is interesting. But this is classic old school scary night Minecraft right here. Just thought this is, with the music playing and everything, this is a real throwback right here. It's very, very nostalgic, really a kind of cool thing. Alright, I will be back with you in just a minute. Okay, so got kind of an interesting find here. Probably hear it through that wall. Say one thing about this version, sounds are difficult to locate, but I finally found it coming around here. And we found this cobble block, and here we are. Okay. So, first zombie spawner, that's something. Not a whole lot of purpose to these guys in the early versions. Obviously you see they drop feathers, as they will until beta, I think. Oh, another guy just spawned. And obviously the experience system does not exist and will not for a while. Sword broke there. So pretty not a super noteworthy find, but it's interesting enough. Let's see what we got here. Iron saddle, a little bit of food, string, gunpowder. Alright, so honestly I kind of want to test. I'm pretty sure we are past where you could pick up spawners and make a pig spawner. But kind of tempted to break it. You know, we'll find one farther away and test it on that. Alright, that's all I got. Thank you. Okay, we have ended up in an insane cave. There's a really huge cave back there. But once again, we dig over, and look what we have down here. Let's try this. Can we suffocate you? I saw a creeper down there for sure. It's gonna be a little annoying to get into. Two creepers in there, in fact. I looked it up, by the way, between clips, and definitely 3 creepers. Is this creeper spawner? Let's go. You definitely can't pick up spawners in this version. That was out in alpha. That skeleton we heard. Alright. There's some bread. Left the bread in the chest. Okay. Let's see. I guess. Oh. Now they can hit you through that, apparently. Climbing up. Afraid to walk forward. There is definitely still a skeleton in there, and skeletons will ruin your life in this version. Another interesting thing, you actually cannot torch on the corners. Oh, there's a guy through that wall. Okay. Chests take up a full block, so they're interesting. Alright. Gonna shoot me when I hit him back here, I think. Come on. Oh, thought he was gonna get one more hit on me there. Alright, yeah, this cave is insane. There's definitely gonna be a lot more. I went back up and left stuff in a chest back there. Because this cave is just so huge. We'll come back and grab this iron in a second. I really need to put it on. I've got plenty of iron, but I'm just running around without it. But alright, let's check the thing we really care about. Alright. Okay, a little lackluster. I think the big thing we're looking for is, I don't think notch apples are in the game yet. I think the big thing we're looking for is discs. No disc there. Alright, that's something. You guys see what I see? Oh, that over there. That right there. Look at that. First diamonds of the world. Very cool. This is still in that cave from the last clip. It is. This place is huge. I went ahead and made up some armor. Skins don't work in this version, by the way. Went ahead and made up some armor after that, finishing that spider spawner. Alright, let's see what we got here. 2. Oh, enough for enchants. 3. Enchants don't exist, by the way. 6. Okay, that's pretty good. Something at least. I don't really think it's worth making anything diamond because durability just goes so fast in this. So honestly, we'll probably end up just saving it, but it's good to have regardless. You know, one of those standard hallmark things of every world. Look at that. A beautiful Minecraft sunrise here in Alpha 112. Look at that. Look at that. Trees don't decay yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and go out here. Back in the day, when I first started playing this game, it was a very long time before I was willing to go out. Let's take a look at the farm over here, actually. Before I was willing to go out and explore during the night. When 2010, when I first started playing Minecraft, I would start day 1, get my basic surface stuff, and then go down and never return to the surface. It was a long time before I got comfortable dealing with the mobs, which in this version it is really understandable why I had that problem, because mobs used to be tough, man. I've died a couple times in this world already. But anyway, getting to the subject I wanted to talk about here. I figured, I've mentioned a couple times, you know, we're going to be progressing through all the versions, but I think it's important that we talk about, like, what that actually means, what we're doing here. So, first example, these leaves here are a great example of that. So leaves will get, the leaf decay update will come out in beta 1.1. Yeah, beta 1.1. So we will still be in this world. I think I'm gonna switch worlds at beta 1.8, which is the first adventure update. I think that would just be the easiest, like, world, you know, place to switch worlds. But in that case, we will get leaf decay eventually, but it is kind of annoying having all these sitting around here. But I think I'm gonna start to make a path up around here and then at some point we're going to build something up here while we talk about what the actual plan for this series is. So obviously we're going to be progressing through versions. Okay, that wasn't too bad. To collect the experience, there isn't any of that yet. We're going to be progressing through the versions, and part of that, let me pull this list up here. we're going to be doing everything there is to do in each version as they come out. So, for example, interesting, leaves block the sun in this version. So, for example, we will be... let's see here. Let's start the path up here. We'll do something. I don't know yet. We'll figure something out. But for example, the biggest thing listed for this update to 1.12 is the addition of the compass, which isn't a super big change, in all honesty, but you know, it seemed like the best place to start. So I already have a crafting table on me. Cobble slabs didn't exist yet. So let's leave that. We're gonna do that before we end the episode. We'll get our compass made just to signify this ending. But then after that, we're gonna move on in the next episode to the next version, Alpha 1.2, which is the addition of the Nether. So that's gonna be pretty interesting for sure. I remember the Nether getting added like in real time. It was really cool. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's what we're gonna be doing next time, exploring the Nether, and then in addition to that, what else gets added? Pumpkins get added. So we'll probably pick a direction and run until we find pumpkins. Have a little adventure there. The slabs already. Wow. And also fishing is the other thing, which doesn't really matter too much. Oh, you only get 3 per. Interesting. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of the plan going forward. And not every episode is going to be like, not every version is going to be just one episode. It'll be these early versions that are small and have much less content that will be the 1 per episode. The Nether will probably be the Nether we might be able to stretch into 2 episodes, but for the most part, the early updates are going to have to be more. Can't middle click. Are going to have to be shorter. We're going to have at least an episode per, at least the major updates. We're probably not going to do the individual, like, what would be snapshot patches, because I'm not sure what we would do for that. Might do some of them, depending on what gets added. I know there was a snapshot patch for a while where you could get ice in the Nether, use that to create water, which could be kind of fun for like a long-term world, to have water in the Nether for like a world that would exist in modern Minecraft. I don't know if that is still doable, but yeah, we'll hook in here then. But it'd be something that's interesting to look into at the very least. This is not looking good. That's okay. But yeah, that's kind of the thought here with the progression series. This is an idea I had like a long time ago. I've wanted to do this, and this turn I've managed to make this path very ugly. So yeah, I'm really excited that I'm finally in a place that I can do it. Last summer, over on Twitch, we did a SMP world that was pretty exciting. lasted for I think about 2 months, and then the player base on it slowed down, which is pretty normal for a viewer based SMP at this point. But maybe we'll do something like that again. I know there has been interest expressed in it, but I couldn't do that and this at the same time, and I've wanted to do this for so long, and I'm finally in a place where I feel like I can do this regularly enough that it makes sense. I'm gonna have to go back and fix this path. Something has gone horribly awry here. Where did that dirt go? Okay, I got it. But yeah, that's the plan for the future. Gonna be going back, and we're going forward to the Nether update in the very next session, and that should be a lot of fun. Not a whole lot to the Nether at this point. We'll just smooth this out. I mean fortresses definitely don't exist yet, so it's pretty much just the barrens. That's okay. We'll make do. We'll go make another shovel real quick. Ooh, that's a good question, actually. Can I drop into water? Yes, you can. Alright, that's good. Let's see here. Let's actually go ahead and make that compass real quick while we're in here, too. I think that should be 4 and 1. The really kind of weird thing about this, yeah, there we go. So that's the, my mouse. I think my mouse, my left click is starting to go. But train of thought. Beds don't exist. At least the woolcraft doesn't exist. I don't think shears exist. I think I tried. Yeah. But the weird thing about this series is that, like, I used to know a lot more about this than I do. Ooh, that's cactus over there, I think. Interesting. Deserts don't exist yet. That's not that biomes get officially added in the next version, which is kind of cool. But I want to try to, there's a certain amount of searching for information that I need to do to make these like version history things. But at the same time, I kind of want to rediscover the game at the same time. For example, something I completely forgot about was the old school fence crafting recipe being just 6 sticks, which is pretty cool. Oh, can you not stack them? Surely you can. Huh. Guess not. Do axes harvest them quicker? Doesn't seem like it. Can you? I guess you can't put anything on top of them. That I do not remember. I guess maybe it's because they're full blocks, maybe? I'm unsure. Get out of here. All that done. But yeah, I think this will be a lot of fun. I think it's gonna start out a lot slower than it will be eventually. I need to clean this up, and I want to put a face on this, and then eventually build that up there. But I think that there is a lot of potential here. Another thing I forgot is that I believe I said when we were doing the zombie farm or spawner is that chests are full blocks. You cannot stack chests in this version. I forgot that this is how we used to have to do chest layouts, is like up the wall, which is kind of funny. I completely forgot that used to be the normal way things were done. Yeah, shift click in. Go ahead and put all of that in there. Well, let's make the bread too, whatever. Throw all this in there. this is kind of just like a misc chest, I suppose. But yeah, we didn't get a whole lot done. I ended up finding one more diamond down in that cave, and it's not even close to done. There's a lot more to do down there, but I think I'm done for now. We're gonna go back down there and make the nether portal next time. We'll see if you can do the speedrun build of it, not the door one, but the more classic pour design. We'll see if that works. I have no idea if it does in this version. I imagine it would. I don't think water physics have changed that much in the history of the game, but it's possible it doesn't. But anyway, I don't really know how to end these for now. Maybe I'll do like a question of the day thing, like an Etho LP or something from the comments. But I am going to try to get a couple of these recorded, edited, and everything. Also can't go into, there is no F5 mode, so here. I'm gonna try to get a couple of these recorded, edited, all ready to go before I release the first one, and we'll see how that goes. And then I think once the episodes start releasing, there's going to be some of the grindier projects I work on, maybe like, down the line, making certain farms, like, I don't know, like old school wither skeleton farms where you have to like either clear all the potential spawns or block all the spawning surfaces off so that you've limited the amount of spaces they can spawn. Maybe I'll do something like that live on Twitch, or just other, maybe I'll do my mining on Twitch or something. But for the most part, this is going to be YouTube only for the big stuff, and then grindier stuff on Twitch maybe. But in any case, thank you for checking this out. Can't wait for skins to get added in here, but I think it's a little while before that happens. But anyway, thank you for watching this. Hope to see you next time for Alpha 1.2 with the nether, biomes, fishing, and pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns. So thank you for checking this out, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.